You know, as we're moving along in this program, I'm going to invite someone to the stage to say a couple words personally to everyone here. Someone is going to, Lissetti probably touched your heart, and now we have to touch some other parts of your awareness in life. I'm going to invite Dwight Brewster to the stage. Just was something special, one special, you know. No organization can run without assistance. That's right, Lauren. You was our financial secretary. You know what we're talking about right now. Don't let nobody out. Close the doors. Dwight's going to come up and say a couple special words to you just for a couple minutes. So we hope you take heed and do what you need to do. Dwight Brewster, board member, Central Brooklyn Jazz Consortium.
Thank you so much, Bob. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. This is a fantastic affair. We give it every year, and I'm blown away at the fantastic artists that we get a chance to honor and acknowledge. It's a big deal. Come on, put your hands together. We're all here. It's a big deal. This specific, show me the money. Okay. She needs the cash. Okay, we'll start working on that immediately. So I like to say this award is very dear to me. I think Jazz Impact is something very special. Now, a little later, Miss Tulivu Donna Cumberbatch is going to come up and talk about the award specific and what it means. As a previous award winner, I'm sure she'll give an insight. But right now, I want to talk about Neil Clark. Percussionist, Baba Neil Clark, put your hands together. Let's acknowledge the brother. So we're here to honor him, but before I get there, I want to say this is also a fantastic fundraising time. Okay? Jazz is not free. You may come to the event for free, but somebody is paying the bill, okay? So I want to make that abundantly clear, and I want to reach out to you and suggest that you take an opportunity to invest in jazz, so-called jazz, the music we call jazz, in this community so we can keep it live here, now, and for the foreseeable future. Now, we're fortunate enough to head an organization that was founded to do exactly that. And we're watching carefully as our original founders advance to the ancestor stage. So that means it's upon each and every one of us to keep the legacy alive and moving. Do not abrogate your responsibility. Do not say anymore that somebody else will get it. I'll pitch in later. Or I'll try my best when I can. Oh, I don't have any cash right now. Oh, I don't understand. Please. All of that's excuses. Now let's be honest. If you want this to survive, we must contribute. So a little bit later, we're going to have an opportunity for you to do that on the way out. And I appreciate your reciprocal response. Bob, can I call up Donna now? Miss Tulivu Cumberbatch? I'd like to bring to the stage now Miss Cumberbatch, and she's going to talk about the details of this specific award. I think this one has impact. Donna?
Thank you. Peace and love and blessings, everyone. Good evening. I received the Jazz Impact Award a few years ago, presented to me by Brother G.B.T.V and Sister Tori McCartney. And as Stanley said, it's such an honor to be recognized by your peers. Gave me great pleasure, great happiness to receive that award. And I'm honored tonight that I can help Dwight present the award to one of my buddies, one of my main buddies, Baba Neil. who I had the pleasure of recording with and working with on several occasions. And his musicianship is invaluable. Working in the recording studio, he was invaluable with his suggestions and his artistry and just his very presence. Made the recording go that much smoother. And working with him on the stage is just as phenomenal. I love being around jazz musicians. They're wise, they're knowledgeable, well-read, great sense of humor. Neil is all of that and more. Very spiritual and just a wonderful human being and a great, phenomenal artist. He plays with commitment, he plays with so much passion, and he just makes you enjoy the music that much more when he's present, when he's around. So I'm honored with Dwight to present Baba Neil Clark with this award.
All right, I want to read Neil's bio now.
Sure.
All right, Neil Clark is receiving the Jazz Impact Award, is a longtime collaborator of Randy Weston and his African Rhythms Band. Neil Clark has also enjoyed a long-standing relationship with such notable artists as Harry Belafonte, Onaje Allen Guns, Diane Reeves, David Sanborn, Miriam Makeba. Oh, wow, I know that. Letta Mbulu, Carlos Garnett, Paul Winter, Dwight Dr. Mambo Brewster. The Spirit, who's that? Wow, I'm ad-libbing now, right? The Spirit Ensemble, to Louisville Donna Cumberbatch, wow, and the late Neil Pointer, as well as many, many more. So, Noel Pointer, sorry. Did I do that wrong? Yes, you did. Okay, Noel Pointer. So I'd like to take this time to bring the fabulous Baba Neil Clark to the stage. I'd like to present him this award for 2016 Jazz Impact. Neil Clark. I got you, Mo. I got you. What you gonna do now? I don't know. They say something. Speech, 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 speech.
Wow. Thank you, Dwight. Tulivu. How much time y'all got? Wow. This is, you imagine what it's like to get an award, but then when you get it, it's like, okay, what do you do now? I like the creator, the ancestors, my family, Central Brooklyn Jazz Consortium, and everybody and anybody that has ever listened to me play the drum and appreciated what I did. And even if you didn't, thank you for listening. Lissetti, why'd you steal my speech, man? I gotta acknowledge Baba G.B.T.V Weusi, because anybody that knows me knows that at some point or another you're gonna see me wearing African garb. That's because of Baba G.B.T.V. That's because of the African Students Association that he started when I was in school. We are an African people. We're descended from kings and queens. And he was the first one that kind of crystallized that idea for me of my connection as a person of color here with Africa. And it was really because of that consciousness that he instilled in me that I took a journey. And the journey that I've taken, the vehicle was the African drum. The African drum gave me the opportunity to travel throughout the diaspora and understand what it meant to be an African person, because it gave me the opportunity to get insight into all of the different dimensions of what African people say musically. Bob Myers, Baba G.B.T.V, Jeff King, Stanley Banks, Dr. Mambo, we all have had long relationships musically. Baba G.B.T.V were the first two people to get me to be a leader of my own group here in Brooklyn. Before that, I've been a sideman for the last, right. And it was G2 that suggested, why don't you be a leader? Why don't you do this? Bob was one of the first people that said, why don't you do this gig with your own band? And it took me to another level. But this journey of traveling with the drum, traveling around the world, seeing what it means to be a musician, seeing how musicians are respected. We talk about jazz. I have two words that define this music that we call jazz. And I don't subscribe to that word, but it's the word that we use. Max doesn't. Ellington didn't. Randy doesn't. We each had different terminologies for that word, for the music. But I have two definitions for this music. Virtuosity and spontaneous composition. I do not subscribe to improvisation. That's too trivial. Virtuosity and spontaneous composition. Virtuosity does not mean that you're the greatest. It means you're the greatest that you can be at any given time. How can you apply your artistry to the point that you are, to the extent that you are, at this given moment to create music at this time? And we all evolve. And hopefully we continue to evolve, because life is about growth and life is about evolution. When something stops growing, it's dead, but until that time, it continues to grow. So this journey has allowed me to explore this dimension of what it means to be African. It's particularly significant for me as an artist, an African-American artist, an African in America, an artist that is an African in America, because the instrument that I play was suppressed to a greater degree in this country than any place else in the world. It was suppressed in other places, in Cuba, in Peru, in Puerto Rico, in Brazil. But in the United States, it was to a greater degree than any place else. And people say it was taken away. Well, people that know me know that I'm a scholar, and I refute that point. It was not taken away. But that's another conversation. But the fact that I have been allowed to learn about this instrument and to in turn take the understanding and the knowledge of this instrument as a musical instrument, comparable to the piano, comparable to the saxophone, comparable to the bass, and apply it to the musical conversation that we call jazz, it's been a wonderful and exciting experience for me. That's why I do it. I don't do it for the money. I don't do it for the notoriety. I don't do it for the awards. I do it because when I hit that drum, there's nothing else in the world that does that for me. And that's why I do it. But the fact that I have been able to do it on the level with the various people that you heard in my bio and so many more who have helped me to be a better musician, but a better human being. And to understand what music means in the human experience, the conversation, that it can bring people together who can't speak together. They don't speak the same language, but for that moment that the music is playing, we're all together. And to travel and to be respected and to be appreciated all over the world is one thing. but to come home and to be able to be recognized and appreciated at home is something even more so. I go all over the world and I play, and it really means something when I can come home here and I can share what I do, I can share what I know, I can share what I've learned with my people, with my folks, with my family, and I appreciate that. But as Lissetti said, thank you very much for this award. But as I stand here with this award, I'm thinking about the people that came before me that allowed me to be here. Chief Bay, Sonny Morgan, Richie Landrum, Bobby Crowder. I can go on and on. Master Henry Gibson, Eddie Bongo Brown, and I can go on and on and on and on and on of the percussionists who have been Mongo Santa Maria, Armando Peraza. I could go on and on and on of the people who, as I was coming up, I listened to them and I was like, wow, I wanna do that. And to be able to stand here now and for you guys to say that I do it to the point that is worth recognition, there are no words. So I just want to say, Central Brooklyn Jazz Consortium, thank you guys so much for all of the patrons. I'd just like to share one small story to reiterate. Greg Lewis, organ monk, shared a story with me. There was a small club that he was working at, I think on Franklin and St. John's for a period of time. And they were trying to get some jazz going on there. And what is it? Okay. And what was happening is that folks were not coming through the door. I don't know if he's still there, but folks were not coming through the door. And he shared with me that they weren't getting a lot of attendance, but when the young people came in there, they didn't know about jazz. But when they heard it, they were like, wow, what's this? Wow, this is bad. I'm enjoying this. But the disappointing thing for him was that the people in the neighborhood would not come through the door to pay $15, I think it was, to hear jazz, but they were spending $60 to go over to the arena to hear Beyonce. So it's not like the money is not there for people to patronize jazz. The question is, how do we reach out to the younger generations to get them to appreciate this art form to the point that they're willing to support it? So what Stanley said, what Laurie said, my wife is here. My wife is right here. I don't know if she can, but I can come down there. You want to come up here? She don't want to come up here. You putting her on the spot, you know. Okay. Okay. All right. My wife, Pat. Hey, that's it. I'm coming down there. But as I come, I just really want to make this point, ladies and gentlemen, that the music needs to be supported. And we need to promote it to the next generation so that they can appreciate it. School programs, 9 o'clock in the morning, musicians don't want to play and, oh man, it's too early, I can't play. You know what you don't understand is that is audience building. If you go in and you hit the way you hit at 10 o'clock at night or 11 o'clock at night, at 9 o'clock in the morning, those elementary school children are going to say, wow, I want to do that the same way that we did. And it's those kind of things that are really important going forward. If you love this music the way I love this music, if we want to see it be perpetuated, These are the kind of things that we got to think about. Thank you so much.
Mr. Neil Clark, everybody. Neil Clark. Baba Neil Clark. Neil was in rare form last night. Thank you, Neil, for all you do for Brooklyn Jazz. And you know what? I would be remiss in my duties as master of ceremonies. Can I say something? Yes, well, James is coming up, darling. You're going to say a lot of something for sure.
I'm not going to try to talk too much, but I just want to say, being married to a musician for all these years with a gift that comes from God, this is not from here, this is from another place, there still is a thing called money.
Ooh, we like that, Gene. We want you to be our banker. That's right. Yes, well, that's right. And you know what, Gene, that's a perfect segue into me as my duties, because, you know, I don't like to embarrass anybody, but we are glad to have in our presence a great jazz pianist, Roberta Gambarini. Roberta, please stand, let the audience recognize you. Roberta Gambarini. Thank you, Roberta. Yes, Gene, and we'll hear from Dwight Brewster later on about that very point about money and the music, the business of this music we call jazz.